While we're waiting for the presentation, I'm Rachel Bouchelon. I'm a NOAA Coastal Management Fellow in the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. I work for their Bureau of Environmental and Coastal Quality. So the location, in case some of you are unfamiliar with this area, as I was before I took this job, I'm roughly a little south of Japan, east of the Philippines, and north of Australia, right there in the Mariana Trench. And on the right, you can see the actual islands in the Mariana Islands, since they're too tiny in the first map. And I live on the fourth one from the bottom, Saipan. That's the primary Northern Mariana Island. It's the most populated. So what are the problems that I'm trying to help in this set of islands? I work with their permitting department, and as I said in the title, I'm developing an app to help them in their decision-making processes. So one of the problems is that as a small island nation, a lot of their geospatial data is scattered through a whole bunch of different repositories, both print and digital. It's in filing cabinets, it's in a whole bunch of disorganized geodatabases, which we've been working on organizing, but it's still an uphill battle. So that's one problem, and it kind of bogs down their process when they're trying to review incoming permit applications for coastal development. On the other side of it is this is an example of one of the applications that they've received in recent years. There's been a ton of increased interest in developing the Mariana Islands with both massive, all-inclusive, large-scale resorts and casinos and things like that. And so with all of this foreign developer interest, it's now more important than ever that they have not only an efficient way of reviewing all these applications, but also all the information they need to make an informed decision on whether or not they're going to allow these permits to go through. So the first part of the solution is centralizing all that data, which, like I said, we've been working on and organizing all of it, putting it into one place. We have an open data portal for our organization. And for my project, the decision support tool that I'm making, taking all the data layers that were scattered around and putting them in one place. These are just some examples. This is by no means exhaustive of the type of data that I'm including for them. And then I'd like to, I haven't completely decided the app that I'm going to use yet, but I'm thinking the find, edit, and filter web app that Esri provides, it would be a good template for this, and I'll explain why in just a second. But this was definitely the biggest part of getting all of that information in one central location for the permitting staff. And then the second part of this is we're working with NOAA partners in Honolulu and Charleston to develop a report generator widget, basically. I'm not a developer. I'm not on that end of things, which is why we outsourced a little bit. But I'm pulling all the information together and then giving it to them so they can help us develop this report generator. So what I envision, the report on the right is actually an example from American Samoa. They did a similar app. And since I didn't have an example from ours to show yet, I thought that would be a good substitute. So in this app, what I'd like for the permit staff to be able to do is select a parcel, which is where the querying aspect comes into the web app. Select a parcel, just type in the number if they have it on the application itself, and then just click a button and generate a report on that parcel of land that includes all of the information, like the examples that I showed in the previous slide. So not only will it tell them, it will trigger certain types of data, I guess, and it'll say, oh, well, this triggered that this parcel is within 500 feet of a wetland. And in addition to just having that descriptive aspect, I've also put in a separate column for conditions like that, but in addition to that, like best management practices and recommendations. So not only will it tell you you're within 500 feet of a wetland, but then it will also say, here are some mitigation techniques you can use if development happens, and also just best management practices for working near a wetland in order to preserve it. And that's just one example, but you know, there are going to be maybe 20 different sections within the report. And I wanted to keep it really short, so that's pretty much it about the app so far. I wanted to plug really quick. We are looking for a GIS specialist at our agency. If any of you have met Mark Stewart, he was out there for a couple years, but now he's back at Esri. And we are actively hiring, so if you want to go do GIS on a small Pacific island, come see me sometime this evening and I'll tell you more about it. And that's it. And I guess we're not doing questions, but thank you so much.
Nice.